The entire mansion hushed after midnight, but one door on the third floor stayed cracked open, a single lamp spilling a pool of light onto the hall carpet. Inside, billionaire Ian Malhotra lay on the king-sized bed, eyes closed, breathing slow and even. He wasn't tired, he was testing. The maid's daughter, Zara, had started working part-time to pay for college, and his board of directors kept warning him, stop trusting people just because they look honest. So he set a trap. Earlier that evening he had, carelessly, left his solid gold watch on the nightstand, his black titanium card half visible in his wallet, and the safe slightly ajar behind a painting. Then he called Zara in. Just tidy up my room, he'd said, already lying under the covers. I'm exhausted. Now, as she patted in quietly, he kept his breathing steady. He heard the rustle of the curtain, the clink of glass as she cleared a water tumbler, the soft swish of a duster. To make things worse, a sudden downpour began outside, rain battering the windows, thunder rolling like distant drums. Zara muttered to herself, not realizing he could hear every word. Just 3 hours, then I can review my scholarship essay, she whispered. She moved closer. Ian barely resisted the urge to crack open one eye. This would be the moment, he thought smugly. Everyone had a price. Would she slip the watch into her pocket? Would she peek at the safe? He was ready to catch her, fire her, and smugly prove his board right. But then, she did something that made his heartbeat stumble. She stopped near the nightstand, went quiet for a long second, then his phone, tucked under his pillow, began to buzz. The sound was muffled, but loud enough for Zara to hear, an urgent, insistent vibration. She glanced at Ian's still form. Sir, she whispered, but he didn't move. He forced himself not to react. Let's see how far she goes. The buzzing stopped, then started again, more frantic. Finally, Zara stepped around the bed, trying to locate it. She leaned close. He could smell the faint scent of detergent and cheap soap on her clothes. From under his pillow, she eased the phone out as gently as if it were a newborn. The screen lit up. Hospital, emergency. Ian's stomach dropped. That call was from the private clinic his assistant had arranged for his blood pressure monitoring. He'd forgotten they might call with lab results tonight. Zara stared at the caller ID, eyes widening. Emergency, she breathed. She shook his shoulder lightly. Sir, wake up. Your phone. He stayed limp. If he sat up now, the test would be over. But something in her voice made his chest tighten. She called his name louder, then, getting no response, she did something he never predicted from a maid's daughter with everything to lose. She swiped to answer. Hello, this is Mr. Malhotra's house. He's not waking up, she said in a trembling voice. There was a crackle, then a nurse's urgent tone. Ma'am, if he's not responding, you must check his pulse immediately. He had critical readings earlier. Put your ear near his mouth. Is he breathing? Ian felt panic explode in his chest. Critical readings? What? Had he been so focused on testing her that he ignored his own worsening health? Zara's hands hovered over him. For a split second, he considered sitting up, saying, relax, I'm fine, and ending this mess. But then Zara choked out, I don't know how to check properly, but he's not answering me. Please send an ambulance. Her voice cracked, but she didn't hang up. She put the phone on speaker, pressed 2 shaking fingers to his neck, whispering, Sir, please, if you can hear me, wake up. He broke. I'm fine, he blurted, eyes flying open as he grabbed her wrist. Zara yelped and stumbled back, the phone nearly falling as the nurse's voice shouted, Sir, is that you, Mr. Malhotra? Heart hammering, Ian grabbed the phone and croaked, Yes, I'm here. False alarm. I fell asleep too deeply. I'm okay. The nurse scolded him briskly, reminding him about his health and follow-up, then disconnected. Silence fell like a curtain. Rain still drummed against the window, but inside the room, everything felt different. Zara's face was pale, her eyes shiny with unshed tears. You were pretending, weren't you? She whispered, voice shaking with something between anger and hurt. Ian sat up slowly, feeling the crushing weight of his own stupidity. The watch still gleamed untouched on the nightstand. The safe was still ajar, unbothered. The wallet sat where he'd left it. The only thing she had taken was responsibility for his life. Yes, he admitted, I was testing you. Zara let out a bitter laugh. You thought I'd steal from you, but when I thought you might die, I was ready to risk my job and call an ambulance that I can't even afford to pay for if it was a false alarm. She lifted her chin, eyes blazing now. I may be poor, sir, but I'm not cheap. With that, she turned to leave, wiping her eyes with the back of her hand. Zara, wait, he said, the word sounding more like a plea than an order. She stopped at the door, shoulders tense. I don't deserve your trust, he said quietly, but you just proved I don't deserve your loyalty either, yet. She didn't respond. Tomorrow, he continued, you're not coming here as a cleaner. You're coming as my new ethics and staff training consultant. Full salary, full benefits. And I'll personally fund all your college fees. She turned slowly, disbelief warring with resentment. Why? She whispered. Because, he said, the woman who calls an ambulance for a man who doesn't even trust her is the only kind of person I want helping me change this house, and myself. For the first time that night, Zara smiled, not out of gratitude, but out of relief that doing the right thing still mattered. Then start by never testing people like that again, she said. He nodded. Deal. And as thunder rolled again beyond the windows, both of them felt that something quiet but profound had shifted inside that room. A test of character had turned into a test of conscience, and she had passed both.